So number one is we have to choose to forgive because we're commanded to. And according to Matthew 18, if you do not choose to forgive, you can be turned over to tormentors and you will have lots of problems in your life. That doesn't sound like fun. And forgiveness, as I spoke a couple weeks back, it changes the spiritual dynamics around your life. It actually cancels the enemy's contract to be able to do things in your life. That's very important. We need it. So it's like, I just want to forgive everybody. I just want to make sure that I'm always going to stay right before the Lord. So then, that's the first thing. We have to open our heart and choose to forgive. The second one is, in that passage, it says, the master had compassion on the servant, the guy that owed him 10,000 talents. So, and what it really means is we need to separate the people from their actions. Even though the person might have carried out the actions, we never know exactly what trauma they've been through or what was motivating them that day, how sorry they've ever been for it. But regardless, we need to separate the person and say, this is a person, and I will forgive that person. Even the acts are separate from the person. That's having compassion on the purpose, on the person. And it's a purposeful thing that we do to separate them from their actions towards us. Or sometimes we may even be seeing somebody doing something and be speaking forgiveness to them. It's still the same thing. We may not like the actions, but that doesn't mean the person has no good merit to him. They do, or her. So have that compassion. Whenever we do not forgive, it's like in our minds and in our heart, we keep them prisoner in our lives. And sometimes if you've ever not forgiven someone, you think about it and you think, well, this is bad. And it's almost like they're in prison in your own mind, so you can go up there and tell them what all you think, and it just compounds the situation because you're thinking about it, and it's really not affecting them, it's only affecting you. And sometimes this is just by imagination or just by faith. You say, okay, I'm going to separate that person from my very thoughts, from my heart. I'm going to release them from the bondage or the prison that I have them in. I'm going to imagine them standing right in front of me. But they are released from tormenting, from having any effect in my life. And when they're out there, I can say, look, then I can start forgiving, asking for and speaking forgiveness for every wound. Now, it doesn't matter for persons, sometimes people have died and you never had a chance to ask anything. It doesn't matter. That you still have them imprisoned in you, so get rid of it. I forgive you. I forgive this. I forgive that. Forgive every wound. It's a matter of choice. And whenever possible, bless them. Do good to them. It says, love your enemies. Bless those that persecute you. So forgiveness is actually a divine act of love, which has so much power to break so many chains and bondages and to set people free. It's amazing. Forgiveness is love in action. And I just recently went back and made a list of everyone I could think of. And I asked the Lord to help me. Is there anybody I haven't really forgiven? My second and third grade teachers came up. Now you think, that's kind of strange. Yeah, but if you understand that I needed glasses and I didn't get them until the 5th grade, so when they'd ask me a question, I never answered it right, so they thought I was just being a smart aleck or a troublemaker, when I really had no idea what was written on the board that I was supposed to answer. There was a lot of wounds from that, from those two teachers. I forgave them. I had to forgive them. Get it out of me. Lord, anything else, I want everything in my life as cleansed as it can be. Every time he reminds me of someone that I haven't forgiven, I forgive. And I keep speaking forgiveness into other people's lives. And it's a good way to live, by forgiving. Because it is an act of love, and it breaks so much bondage, not only in your life, but I think in other people's lives also. So, 5 steps, we choose. Make our heart saying, I'm going to do this. We have compassion. We separate the person from any actions. Get them out of your mind. Get them out of your heart. Imagine them standing outside of you and you're asking for forgiveness, or you're speaking forgiveness for everything they've done to you. Whether or not they can hear it, it doesn't matter. You do it. And you ask him to forgive them for every wound, and then you just say blessings to them if it's possible. If they've already went to heaven or some other place, so they don't need blessing. But you can still bless anything that comes to your mind. It works. And all the people said,
Amen.
Amen. And his body was broken so that we could have forgiveness. There's many scriptures that say we need to forgive as Christ forgave us. And when he forgave us, he didn't hold anything back. He forgave everything. So if you've never met him, now's the time to say, Lord, I need you to be a part of my life. And I need your absolute forgiveness. Because none of us are perfect. Some of us are closer than others. I wouldn't mention any names. I don't know of anybody right off the top of my head. But his forgiveness was complete. Let's bask in that forgiveness as we partake. There's power for healing. There's life transforming, miracle working power in the blood of the Lamb. When they put it on the doorpost, death angel never entered that house. There's power in the blood of the Lamb. Let's partake and be cleansed completely. So we are forgiven and cleansed by his word. Amazing. Okay. Blessings to all.